The Naruto fandom has had a rough couple of years. The show ended in 2017 to fair to middling review. People were upset over Madara's death and the appearance of the Otsutsuki, and honestly, who can blame them? But then we had a spin-off coming, a story about Naruto's son, which was an incredible prospect because it meant we were getting more Naruto content, something that we were afraid was gonna dry up. And then Boruto happened. And while the manga itself is fantastic, the anime is anything but. So choosing to become a Naruto YouTuber when I did was a bit of a weird choice, but I can't control being young. However, recently things have begun to turn around for the Naruto fandom. We've had a suspiciously long streak of very good things happening. One, like I said, the Boruto manga has been a lot of fun these past months, but it goes far beyond Boruto. On top of that, we got our 20th anniversary for the beginning of Naruto, where Studio Pierrot went back into the most important parts of Naruto and reanimated them in today's animation. And it was an incredible 10-minute video that gave us a look into what Naruto could have looked like if it was made today. Over the last 5 or 6 years, it felt like the first moment that the Naruto fandom had finally come back together to enjoy the show for the first time. And on top of that, over the last year or so, there's been several announcements that several different light novels are going to be receiving mangas of their own, specifically Sasuke Retsudan and the Steam Ninja Scrolls. And Sasuke Retsudan actually just came out about a week ago and is not only gorgeous, but also increasing the amount of people that are able to consume light novel content. And the thing is, the streak may not end there, because we recently got an announcement that on December 17th we will be getting an announcement regarding the future of Naruto. It was a cryptic announcement made by Anime TV on Twitter stating that at Jump Fest 2023 we will be getting a huge announcement for the future of Naruto. But what will that announcement be? Will it be more manga, more anime, a new spin-off, new games? Well, people certainly have theories, and I'll be telling you those theories, but I also might know the real announcement. But before we get to talking theories, guys, please, for me, like this video, subscribe to the page, and hit that noti bell. And if you guys like it when I talk about Naruto, you're gonna love it when I talk about every other anime on my other page, The Weeb Commander, where we cover every anime that's not Naruto. Doesn't it feel nice as a fandom to have something that we're all waiting with bated breath, with endless possibilities of what this announcement could be about? And while the possibilities are technically endless, most people are hoping for a couple of different things. The first of which ties into something that we saw earlier this year. See, I've already touched on it this video that earlier this year we got the 20th anniversary video from Studio Pierrot, where we got to see in full vibrant 2022 animation all the most important parts of Naruto. And whether remastering these important parts of Naruto was brought on by the coming of Thousand Year Blood War arc and the upgraded animation that Bleach has seen, or just because it's been 20 years since the beginning of Naruto the anime and they wanted to show us the difference in animation now to then, Studio Pierrot's 10-minute clip had a massively positive response. So much so that Mr. Beast speculated about paying for the entirety of OG Naruto to be remastered in this form. But what if that 20th anniversary clip was just a feeler? What if Studio Pierrot and Viz were simply testing the water with a little bit of chum to see if the Naruto fandom would bite? To see that if we as a fandom were still interested in Naruto all these years later. And upon seeing that we as a fandom were still very much interested, they decided to greenlight a project that they were holding on to. A project to remaster all of the canon episodes from Naruto. A Naruto Kai, if you will. See, OG Naruto, while it's 220 episodes long, is roughly only 120 actual canon episodes. If you speed up the pacing of a couple of those episodes, you could probably get it down to somewhere around 100. As to whether or not they would change the pacing, that's entirely up to them. I don't necessarily think they would, but still, you can't tell me after the response to that clip that Studio Pierrot and Viz wouldn't see the amount of money that they could make by remastering Naruto. And at the end of the day, a business is about making money. I mean, look at what Thousand Year Blood War arc has done for Bleach. Not only has it reinvigorated the entirety of the existing Bleach fandom, the animation, the gore, and the storytelling of Thousand Year Blood War arc have brought new people into the fandom. Tite Kubo is rolling in it currently. And while technically Thousand Year Blood War arc is new content for Bleach, like new for the anime, not for the manga, to bring in the younger generation of anime lovers who might have been brought in by things like Demon Slayer into Naruto through a remastered and abbreviated program of OG Naruto would result in massive profit. I can almost guarantee you every single person watching this video currently would probably watch it. But that is expensive for them to do, and it is a risk. So what if the announcement is going to be something less risky to Viz? The announcement could simply be the continuation of something they're already doing. The announcement could just be that more light novels are getting mangas. And unfortunately, if you're hoping for the whole remaster thing, this is the announcement that makes the most sense. You see, we've already seen 2 light novels novels get greenlit for mangas. The Steam Ninja Scrolls, which is a light novel about Kakashi Guy and Mirai Sarutobi, as they try to find the last Joshinist who's sacrificing people in order to gain immortality, got greenlit for its own manga. And while technically this story was animated into Boruto, a lot of the story was left out in the anime, which, I mean, surprise, surprise, Boruto missed the assignment a little bit. And on top of that, we also recently got the first chapter of Sasuke Retsudan. And while Sasuke Retsudan is probably going to end up being about 8 or 9 chapters because the book itself is 8 chapters with a prologue and an epilogue, Sasuke Retsudan getting greenlit for a manga pretty much means that we have to get other light novels greenlit. Why? Well, if you've watched my video on the plot of Sasuke Retsudan, you'll know that the ending of Sasuke Retsudan actually leaves off on a cliffhanger. You see, there's 3 Retsudan light novels: Kakashi, Sasuke, and Naruto. And most light novels technically don't tie into each other. They're one-off stories that happen within the universe of Naruto and are canon, but more often than not don't tie into each other. The exception to this rule are Itachi's 2 light novels and the Retsudan novels, which heavily tie into the plot of each other. They're technically a trilogy. And while it's weird that we skipped Kakashi Retsudan because Kakashi Retsudan happens before Sasuke Retsudan, if Sasuke Retsudan does well as a manga, and you should go read it right now so that the numbers are good, Naruto Retsudan is almost guaranteed to also get a manga. Now, once again, this is literally free money for Viz. The content already exists. There's something like 20 to 25 light novels. Naruto itself is already an anthology of stories. Within the confines of Naruto, we get Obito's life story, we get Naruto's life story, Jiraiya, Kakashi, Rin, Sakura, Nagato. We get everyone's life story. Naruto, as a timeline, is a straight line with a bunch of arrows shooting out of it. So if the announcement on the 17th is that we're getting more of the light novels being turned into manga, I wouldn't be surprised at all, considering the fact that I can all but guarantee you that at least one more of them will be turned into a manga. What would surprise me though is if these mangas got animated. So once again, tap into 1000-Year Blood War arc here, because remember, both Naruto and Bleach are controlled by the same parent company, and they are both animated by the same animation studio. It is entirely possible that if the mangas of these light novels are successful enough, that we will see these mangas animated. Each of these light novels is good for a 12 to 24 episode arc on their own. Sasuke Retsudan on itself would be a little bit of a stretch to pull to 12 episodes. But when you tie into the fact that Naruto Retsudan is also a continuation of that story, making it a full 24 episode arc would not be insane. And the Retsudan series are not the only series where we could see this happen. We've already seen it happen in Boruto 3 times. When Shin Uchiha shows up in Boruto, based off a light novel. And then the Steam Ninja Scroll thing they did in Boruto, once again, based off a light novel. Now I can hear what you're saying. You're saying, well, Nick, these didn't turn out well for Boruto. Well, yeah, that's because they were branded as Boruto. What if they hypothetically made an anthological anime called like Stories of Konoha, where the stories of these characters who have light novels written about them get animated, and we get to know more about the characters in Konoha. We could learn more about Itachi through his 2 light novels, Itachi Shinden 1 and 2. We could learn more about Kakashi from his 2 light novels. We could learn about how Sakura got as strong as she is in Boruto through her light novel. We could learn more about the Akatsuki through their light novel. We could learn more about Shikamaru and the fact that he prevented a world war in the blank period through his light novel. By switching the focus from Naruto as the main character of Naruto, we could get peeks into the life of some of our favorite characters in Konoha and even outside of Konoha, because people like Gaara also have light novels written about them. We could once again interact with fresh new content in the Naruto universe. And the thing is, where there's smoke, there's fire. Why would they make a manga if they weren't gonna animate it? It's not like this is some rinky-dink manga we're talking about that doesn't have the juice to get animated. Do you genuinely think that Viz would go through drawing out an entire light novel into a manga and then not convert that into an anime? Listen, manga does need to get popular in order for it to be made into an anime, because manga is substantially cheaper to make than anime, but anime also makes substantially more money. And just like if there was a remaster of Naruto that came out tomorrow, you would watch it, I also guarantee you right now, if a story about Sasuke and Sakura got animated in 2022 animation by Studio Period, you would watch it. And the fact that you and I and millions of other people would watch it is what drives dividends. In life, you should know, follow the money. Every billion-dollar company is always gonna do what is going to make them the most money. And Viz is now looking at this very, very under-consumed Naruto content in the form of light novels and seeing they have a golden opportunity to animate something that a lot of people don't know the story to and then feed on that money. And talking about this possibility of a new anime brings me to the next possible theory, an additional spin-off. I think we're all generally aware that Boruto is not doing well. I mean, it actually is doing well. The manga sales in Japan are pretty high up there, but the anime is doing basically anything but performing. So we as a fandom have been calling for different spin-offs for a long time. Basically, even before Boruto was announced, people have been calling for a little thing called Minato the previous generations. Now this is a stretch, probably the biggest stretch out of all of the theories we'll cover today. Boruto is still ongoing, and by making a different Naruto spin-off, they would take even more traffic away from Boruto, effectively killing the show. Now, while there is, for sure, diehard Boruto fans out there who wouldn't leave it even if there was a different Naruto spin-off made, the amount of traffic that would be lost to Boruto would be somewhat drastic. Or maybe not. See, if hypothetically a new spin-off was announced, and it was Minato the previous generations, or a Feudo Edo style story about Hashirama and Madara's life that we didn't get to see in Naruto, it could bring a lot of new people into the fandom, or it could bring old Naruto fans back to the fandom. Regardless, Naruto as a whole would have more foot traffic than prior. And this wouldn't be the first time in anime history that one universe had two shows going on somewhat simultaneously. And if hypothetically Viz was able to land this incredibly complicated trick, they would now effectively double their current revenue. But once again, this is a slim to none chance. If anything, the announcement could be stating that after Boruto, they would do a different spin-off. And I would just like to get ahead of this now. If there is a new spin-off coming, please just hire me. I know your universe better than you. I know what the fans want, and I'm pretty good at making things up. Even just like as an executive producer, just like bang my line. But enough about spin-offs. Let's talk about some things that actually might happen. By the way, I stand on the take that those light novels getting animated could most definitely happen, while things like the Minato and Hashirama spin-offs are slim to unlikely. However, something that's not slim to unlikely is the creation of a new Naruto video game. See, as a person who knows a couple of people in high places at video game companies, I've heard murmurs. Nothing official, nothing substantiated, and completely off the record, mind you. But recently a video game came out by the name of Hinokami Chronicles. This was essentially the Demon Slayer version of Ultimate Ninja Storm, where there was a 10 or so hour campaign that allowed you to play through the first season of Demon Slayer and Mugen Train, and once you're done with that campaign, it becomes a 1v1 fighter with a substitution system. It is Ultimate Ninja Storm, but with Demon Slayer. But here's the thing, it's not. And why do I say it's not? You see, Hinokami Chronicles wasn't made by the people who made Ultimate Ninja Storm. See, Hinokami Chronicles was made by CyberConnect 2, while the Storm games were made by Bandai Namco. This is important, because when everybody looked at Hinokami Chronicles, they thought surely it was made by Bandai Namco because it looks exactly like a Bandai Namco game. In fact, even people who work at Bandai Namco thought Hinokami Chronicles was a Bandai Namco game, but it's not. And CyberConnect 2 didn't do anything illegal. There's a certain type of video game that works very well in the anime community, and they made that type of game. It's just for a long time, Bandai have been the people who make said game. But that doesn't sit well with the company. A game whose genre you basically created is outperforming all of the games you have in that genre. So what do? Well, you remind people why you created the genre. What I'm taking the very long and windy path to here is that we could see Storm 5 announced on the 17th. And that's not crazy either, considering the fact that Storm 4 was released 7 years ago. And while Storm 4 did see an update that basically covered the first 60 or so episodes of Boruto, we are now at episode 277. On top of the fact that we're now seeing light novels getting mangas, meaning that not only could we hypothetically play through the continuation of Boruto's story, but also possibly through some of these light novels. Slight correction, CyberConnect 2 developed both Hinokami Chronicles and the Storm games. It's just Hinokami Chronicles was published by Sega, not Bandai Namco. Not perfect. This take is also substantiated by the fact that we've seen a lot of updates recently to Shinobi Strikers, which is the albeit less popular Naruto game still in circulation that came out around 2016. In Shinobi Strikers, we're currently seeing updates to maps, new characters being introduced like Ishiki in Baryon Mode Naruto. That's giving us direct tie-ins to current events in Boruto. These updates to Shinobi Strikers could also point in the direction of a Shinobi Strikers 2, for all the same reasons as in Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 5 would get made, because the game is almost 7 years old, but people still play it. Now, obviously, in an ideal world, we wouldn't get Storm 5 or Shinobi Strikers 2. In an ideal world, we would get something like One Piece is doing with One Piece Odyssey, an open world-ish game within the confines of Naruto. I mean, obviously something like truly open world would be incredible, but we're probably never gonna see that. Video games are not only very tough to make, they're also very expensive. And as it stands currently, at least for anime video games, mobile games are kind of the wave. They're cheap and fast to make, and they make a ton of money. So hypothetically, the announcement could be any one of those 3 video games, or maybe all 3 of those video games if we get lucky. Lastly, the announcement could be about Boruto. Naruto. Now, this is relatively unlikely because the announcement was branded as a Naruto announcement, but I mean, the show is called Boruto Naruto Next Generation. And if I had half a brain in the marketing department of Naruto, I would brand the announcement as Naruto and not Boruto. So hypothetically, could they be using Naruto's name to garner more hype around a Boruto announcement? It's a possibility. But if it was a Boruto announcement, what would it be? Well, basically only one of two things. And fortunately for us, it's two things that we as a Naruto fandom have been clamoring for a long time. The first announcement could be the releasal of a little thing known as Boruto Kai. Boruto is 277 episodes at the time of this current recording, and 63 of those episodes are manga canon, leaving Boruto at a 78% filler rate. And while the majority of these episodes are anime canon and therefore the consequences within the confines of these episodes actually play out later in the story, people want to watch the manga get animated. It's the only reason we watch anime. Genuinely, nobody's interested in the anime canon episodes. The only people watching these anime canon episodes currently are just hoping that eventually they'll end. So us as a fandom have been clamoring for something that Dragon Ball Z did about 20 or so years ago. It was like 14 years ago. I'm sorry if you felt old when I said that. But essentially, Dragon Ball Z's pacing was atrocious. Spirit Bombs took 12 episodes to charge, and it was so bad that a lot, and I mean a lot, of Dragon Ball fans complained. And thus Dragon Ball did one of the smartest things we've ever seen any anime producer do ever. They re-released the show without the filler and made the pacing significantly better. And now, the only way to watch Dragon Ball Z is to watch Dragon Ball Kai. Now, could this be what's being announced on the 17th? Probably not, on account of the fact that Boruto is still currently running. So to release a revised version of Boruto while Boruto is still coming out, also kind of a stretch. However, the more realistic announcement that could happen in regards to Boruto that's at least worth mentioning is the time skip. See, if you've even watched just the first episode of Boruto, you'll know that at a certain point, Boruto and Kawaki are old. Not like old, they're like 18, which they are not right now. I think they're like 13 in the show. And the show and the manga do not take place over the course of years. There's no way we're writing Boruto until both Boruto and Kawaki are 18. And thus, there's gotta be a time skip, just like with original Naruto. And we've been waiting for that time skip for what feels like decades now. See, Boruto is a monthly manga, meaning that a new chapter comes out once a month. But because Boruto comes out so slowly and the anime is weekly, it's filled with anime canon. As it currently stands right now, the manga is far enough ahead that the anime could pick back up. But the manga is also in the middle of some rather intense stuff right now in the battle against Kara. But after the Kara arc is completed, a lot of people hypothesize that that's when we'll get our time skip. So it's a possibility that our Naruto announcement is the announcement of the timeline for the time skip. Whether that be them giving us a physical date to look forward to, or just it's gonna come in the next year or so, it gives the Naruto fandom as a whole a date to rally around Boruto, considering the fact that a lot of Naruto fans are actually waiting until the time skip to get into Boruto. But once again, I don't think this announcement will have to do with Boruto. I believe it'll have to do with Naruto. And I genuinely believe that with 100% of my soul, it will either be the light novels getting more manga or the light novels manga getting animated. The Naruto remaster is a possibility. Probably the only actual possibility outside of more light novel content. And while I would be incredibly stoked for that, I just don't believe it's much of a possibility. Except for the fact that I just read that Kai was released on the 20th anniversary of Dragon Ball Z's anime release, which would mean hypothetically if they did remaster and cut the filler out of Naruto, it would be an exact clone of Kai, and both of them are in Shonen Jump. Oh god, now I feel like it's a coin flip. But what do you guys think is gonna get announced on the 17th? Tell me in the comments below, and while you guys are down there, please, for me, like this video, subscribe to the page, and hit that noti bell. Listen, if it is Minato, we don't stop annoying Viz until they hire me, okay? 300,000 people writing letters. I feel like we can get it figured out.